Who is Donald Trump and what is his past? Donald John Trump is one of the most well-known and controversial figures in modern American history, a businessman, television personality, and the 45th President of the United States. But long before he became a political icon or a billionaire real estate mogul, he was simply a boy growing up in New York City, full of energy, ambition, and attitude. Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York City. He was the fourth of 5 children in a wealthy family. His father, Fred Trump, was a successful real estate developer who built apartment buildings across New York, and his mother, Mary Ann Trump, was from Scotland and took care of the home and children. Donald grew up in a large house in a quiet neighborhood of Queens. Even as a little boy, he was energetic, confident, and sometimes a bit stubborn. He liked to be the center of attention and always wanted to win, whether it was a game or an argument with his brothers and sisters. His father often showed him construction sites and explained how buildings were made, lessons that made a strong impression on young Donald. His mother, on the other hand, taught him manners, appearance, and faith. At school, he was smart but very active, sometimes getting into trouble for talking too much or not following the rules. He liked to take charge of other kids and enjoyed competition. By the time he was 10 years old, Donald Trump was already showing the personality that would define him for life: ambitious, confident, and driven to stand out in everything he did. In 1976, a young and ambitious Donald Trump made one of his first big moves in the real estate world. He announced his bold plan to build a $100 million hotel in the heart of Manhattan. Many thought it was impossible for someone his age, but Trump was determined to prove them wrong. Working through the Trump Organization, he took over the old and abandoned Commodore Hotel near Grand Central Station and began its complete transformation. After years of construction and negotiations, the project finally opened in 1980 as the Grand Hyatt New York, a modern, luxurious symbol of Trump's growing empire. By 1987, Donald Trump had become one of New York City's most recognizable figures. Inside his offices at the newly opened Trump Tower, he stood surrounded by marble, glass, and gold, symbols of the luxury and ambition that defined his brand. Trump Tower wasn't just a building, it was a statement. Rising 58 stories above Fifth Avenue, it represented success, confidence, and the power of Trump's name. From his sleek office overlooking Manhattan, he was no longer just a real estate developer, he was becoming a public figure, ready to step into the national spotlight. In 1977, Donald Trump married Ivana Trump, a former Czech Olympic skier and model. Together, they became one of New York's most glamorous and talked about couples. Confident, stylish, and ambitious, they were often seen at charity events, luxury openings, and in the pages of celebrity magazines. The couple had 3 children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, all of whom would later become involved in their father's business empire. Ivana played a major role in the Trump Organization, helping manage hotels and casinos, and shaping the brand's elegant image. But behind the success and attention, the marriage began to strain under public pressure and Trump's growing fame. In 1990, after 13 years together, Donald and Ivana divorced, marking the end of an era for one of America's most high-profile couples. In 1987, Donald Trump was at the height of his fame and success. His name was everywhere, on buildings, in magazines, and on television. Traveling around New York City in his limousine, he embodied the image of power, wealth, and confidence that defined the 1980s. From Trump Tower to his many luxury projects across Manhattan, Trump presented himself as the ultimate symbol of success: bold, outspoken, and always in control. Wherever he went, cameras followed, capturing not just a businessman, but a man who had turned his life into a brand. In 1990, Donald Trump celebrated the grand opening of one of his most ambitious projects, the Trump Taj Mahal Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The massive, lavish casino was designed to be the 8th wonder of the world, filled with marble halls, crystal chandeliers, and gold accents that reflected Trump's trademark taste for luxury and excess. The opening was pure spectacle, attended by celebrities, politicians, and thousands of curious guests. Among them was Michael Jackson, the king of pop himself, who joined Trump at the event, adding even more star power to the occasion. Although the Taj Mahal became a symbol of Trump's grand vision, it also marked the beginning of financial troubles that would soon challenge his empire. In 2011, Donald Trump, already a household name thanks to decades of real estate development and reality television fame, began making public moves that hinted at a potential career in politics. At the New York County Republican Committee's annual Lincoln Day dinner, he delivered a speech that captured the attention of both business leaders and political observers alike. During the event, Trump suggested that he might run for governor of New York in 2014, but only if he received the full support of the state's Republican Party. He spoke confidently, blending his signature flair for publicity with calculated political language. While some saw his remarks as a mere attention-grabbing moment, others interpreted them as the early steps of a carefully considered political strategy. Although he ultimately did not enter the gubernatorial race, the dinner was significant for several reasons. First, it demonstrated Trump's willingness to test the political waters publicly, using his media presence to gauge public reaction. Second, it marked one of the earliest moments in which Trump explicitly linked his personal brand to political ambition, foreshadowing the eventual 2016 presidential campaign for Trump. Politics was another arena where success could be measured in visibility, influence, and personal branding. Even in 2011, it was clear that he was thinking beyond real estate and television, contemplating how his larger-than-life persona could be leveraged on a state or national stage. The Lincoln Day dinner was less about announcing a candidacy and more about positioning himself as a political figure, planting seeds that would later grow into his run for the presidency.